a zombie being a sponge, a bullet sponge, right?
Yeah, but not jumping from body to body.
Yeah. I can't accept that.
Even if it was like Jason X within space, I'm like, okay, maybe some like nanobots or whatever in it. I can kind of buy that, but you're nowhere near that at that point. You're like, that doesn't.
Hi guys, welcome to this mass murdering, zombie rising, nightmare making, machete wielding, kitchen knife stabbing, kiddie killing, not the other one because that's what he also does. Hockey masking, William Shatner whiteface wearing episode of From the Multiverse. Oh, wow. Your host, the mutant son of Baba Voorhees, C.Y. Chong, and the Jason Hayden co-host of mine.
Yeah, I guess. Kyle Charles. I missed that reference.
Oh, but you were going to intro yourself.
Oh, I thought you just did it there. And
No, I led you to intro yourself.
Oh, and I'm the man who somehow can be exploded, but always resurrect in Lake Crystal for some reason. Kyle Charles.
Cap Crystal Lake. Get it right, boy.
Whatever. He's the worst of them all. Yep. And yes. What are we doing?
Today's episode, we're going to have you looking at the big three icons.
Yes.
Of what? Definitely the 80s and the 90s, 2000s-ish?
2000s-ish. Yeah.
Ish, yeah.
Ish, yeah.
Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and Freddy Krueger. Now, I say that I think they're still the big three by default, even though only Michael's had something going on in the last 10 years?
Yes. Yeah. I realised that, the Halloween reboots? Question mark.
Yeah, because the last thing for Freddy and Jason were like the 2010s.
Yeah, when Michael Bay got it was before that as well, like
was it
2000s, because didn't he? So wait, because I know Michael Bay somehow got the rights to a lot of those horror movies, and that's why you had like the reboots that went nowhere.
Yeah. I will say, it used to. I personally still think they're probably the big three, but that's because there's nothing come to overtake them, rather than they sustained at the top.
Yeah. It's true, isn't it? Everything's just sort of being flash in the pans, really, isn't it?
Well, I mean, there's some other horror icons, but they haven't had the life force of these three.
Well, maybe like if depends if you would class like Predator and Alien, like the Xenomorphs.
I would personally, I would class Terminator as well.
Yeah, same, but
they become different films after the first one, and the first one's kind of what is the horror, still in the horror genre.
Yeah, and then after it just
yes, you hate Jason, as we know, right?
Yeah, he's the worst.
What do you think of Michael Myers?
Because
and we'll split into like Michael Myers from original timeline, and Michael Myers reboot timeline, and then you got Rob Zombie Michael Myers as well, because there's like three different.
I don't know. I think the reason why I probably like Michael Myers the most is because I actually enjoy like say 75% of the Halloween films, compared to like everyone knows like I can't stand the Jason character. Not the Jason character. It's the films of them, because they just get like more ridiculous and ridiculous each time they go. And Freddy, actually no, I'll keep going about Michael for now. Michael now. Like at least he kind of has a point, if you know what I mean. Like, even though I didn't mind the reboot kind of retcon that, like, which they dropped after the second film, was like, he's like a force of nature. Like, hate, he will always be. Like, oh yeah, cool, I kind of like that. And then they dropped it in the last film. Like, oh, okay, that doesn't make any sense. But like he has a purpose. Like, but it was just.
I will say this, right. Original Michael, when they were saying that he, like you're saying, they would send him to hell, but hell won't have him, and he's like an evil entity,
Yeah.
just incarnate. That's I wouldn't say necessarily the spooky stuff, but he's just soulless, just walking in there and stabbing people.
Yeah.
But when they tried to make it like the Thorn trilogy, which is like 4, 5, and 6 of Halloween, and it's some cult ritual stuff that I want to say certain words that begin with BS. But yeah, all that is like, no, he shouldn't be just a man.
No.
So I will say,
the
Halloween 2018 reboot, he was just a man. But he was a spooky man. And then Halloween Kills came and Halloween Ends came, and then you're like, but you...
Like, the thing with, like, I don't know if we spoke about this on the Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends reviews. Like you said, 2018 Halloween, alright.
Yeah.
Like you said, he was sort of like a man, but kind of was something like, there was something to him, like, there's like the kind of edge or whatever, you know what I mean? And then... like I mentioned before, I kind of liked how they kind of mentioned, like, he's an embodiment of the evil, the hate of the town. That's what keeps him.
Yes.
I was like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I like where they're going with this. And then the third one, he was just like, it didn't make any sense.
No, it didn't. You see, as much as I say I don't really like Halloween Kills, but I get the idea of it. And if the third one took that idea and expanded it, yes. But no, it just got like, oh no, we're gonna time skip. What?
Yeah, and then like it didn't like make any sort of sense. He was just like, oh, he was just a bum. He became a bum, and then that kid, like even the whole premise of them setting up a kid, like it started off okay, but then it went weird. But then it makes no sense. It's kind of like, you know, this the new Star Wars trilogy. Like, it was directed by 2 different people, and all of them had their own different ideas. Well, they had both different ideas. Which, in my personal opinion, kind of made the films worse. Even though I haven't seen the last one yet, where they try to retcon stuff and everything.
I wouldn't recommend it unless you're going to deliberately watch it for the retcon.
But then, like, with these the last 3 Halloween films, they're directed and written by the same people. So I don't get how you have like tonal shifts in all like 3 films. It doesn't really make any sense, and it just doesn't make the character look good.
Now I will say Halloween, at least the tone of Halloween, the original timeline trilogy, and the H2O and H2O kind of had that vibe of this dude coming to shank people, right? And something sinister about it. And I will say Halloween Resurrection is basically a Jason film, right? It's a Friday the 13th film, essentially.
No reason,
So it's just like, but and some people like the Rob Zombie films, I think, are underrated.
I did at first. Like when I first watched them when he first came out, I really enjoyed the first one. And then I didn't mind the second one. I thought, okay, this is a bit they took Laurie in a weird direction, in my personal opinion. But anyway, but then watching it recently, in the last, like, say 5 or 6 years, I was like, these films are just like pointless. Like, that might sound really weird. Like, there's no real. It's just like Rob Zombie's like, I like death and murder, so we're just gonna kind of like put it in there and then have like a story that gets real razor thin toward the end. You're like,
let me ask. So, have you seen Halloween 4, 5, and 6?
I think I might have seen 4, and I think I gave up after that.
All right. So there's Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, which has a producer's cut as well. There's 2 separate cuts of it, which are distinctly different. Rob Zombie's Halloween also has 2 different cuts. There's a theatrical cut and the director's cut for both movies. And I recently saw both director's cuts. I'd say they set a tone and they continue with that tone. And I know some people might dislike number 2, but that's when Laurie's having a mental breakdown. I'm like, I accept it. It makes sense with her character. And okay, she might not end up that likable during the movie, but when you've just had that traumatic incident, at least there to there, it makes logical sense. It's not like, for example, in the Halloweens where Laurie Strode had a daughter. And then daughter gets impregnated by Michael Myers, but then Michael Myers is not, but he doesn't. He all he wants to do is kill people. So why is he? You know.
Wait, what films? Wait, what?
So Halloween 6.
Yeah.
They're trying to. So okay. So Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Somehow, right? I say somehow because they just time skip it.
Yeah.
Like, so Jamie Lloyd, the little girl from number 4 and 5.
Yeah.
I think she's supposed to be like 9, 10 years old at the end of the first one. Then there's a time skip because it took actually that was the amount of time, like 6 years.
Yeah.
Supposedly, it's Michael's kid because the cult of the Thorn
Michael, whatever.
got Michael to impregnate her, but it just like, but Michael doesn't have desires like that. All Michael desires is just. Yeah. I wouldn't even say he desires to shank people. He just like.
That's why he's.
I'm just gonna walk up and.
Yeah,
exactly. So like, what was that storyline going? They make no sense.
This sounds dumb.
And I will say as well, as much as they shoot him down and stuff like that, and he starts getting a bit more invincible, he takes human impacts. And when Paul Rudd injected him with like whatever substance, some green toxic looking substance, 3 of the syringes.
Yeah.
Michael Myers still survived the end of that movie. It's like, what? In the producer's cut, Paul Rudd, he's got the robe on, like the cult robe, and he had some runestones in his pocket. And then he puts them in like a triangle and stuff in that. And Myers is walking towards him, and then he just kind of gets trapped in that circle of soul. I'm like, all right. Yeah. I mean, some parts, look, if you mix those two together, the producer's cut and the theatrical cut of number 6, you probably end up getting with a cut that makes the most sense. Not the best, right? But at least it makes sense within itself.
Yeah. But that
sounds... But you wouldn't say you're a fan of Michael Myers?
No, I'm a fan of Michael Myers.
Okay.
But...
Not a fan of Halloween? Or how they did him?
No, it's... I don't know, like I say, I think because I enjoyed the Halloween films more than like the Friday 13th and the.
Okay, gotcha.
That's probably why he's default probably the best one out of a lot of them.
Okay.
Like,
right.
The others we'll get on. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so have you seen all of the Friday the 13th, or have you seen none of them? Or I know you've seen some of them because we reviewed some. Yeah.
I think I saw one when you find out it's not actually Michael, it's his mum and whatever.
Oh, that's number 5. Yeah.
Number 5. So what's the first? Is it the first one? Not him.
Oh yeah, the first one's his mum.
Yeah, and
then... But number 5 is when there is Jason, but it's not that. That's not Jason.
Yeah. No. So I think I've seen 1, 2. Jason X.
Yeah.
Jason Takes Manhattan.
You see number? Yeah, number 8, of course.
And
the remake.
Remake, yeah.
Yeah. Did you see? And you see Jason versus Freddy?
Yes, I've seen that as well. Yeah.
Okay. I like zombie Jason from number 6 onwards because it becomes a horror comedy to me at that point, right? Yeah. It's not trying to be a slash. Well, it is trying to be a slasher, but the things are so ludicrous they make you laugh. It's not like how they advertised it, like when they were advertising Friday the 13th, they say this is the most scary movie you ever see. Without actually making a movie first, by the way, they used the tagline to get investors.
Oh right, yeah, and then they saw like I made a huge mistake. Yeah. Hello.
But I think the horror genre, like back then, you'd probably call it horror, right?
Yeah.
But now it falls under a different category of slasher because it's its own thing. And I wouldn't say any of the Friday the 13th films are scary. Maybe the first one had some suspense because you didn't know.
Yeah, it's because it was new. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Then after that, it became like watered down trash.
Yeah, I'll say the same for Halloween. It's like Halloween 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then kind of the rest of them weren't really horror until H2O kind of went in that direction.
Yeah.
But it wasn't horror, it was more suspense. And then I will say 2018 kind of took it back to its roots, except the rest of it didn't.
Yes.
And I would even say what you think the best Halloween is, Halloween 3, that's not even a horror. That's a B movie.
that is. I don't even know what I'll class that film. I'll class it as perfect, if I'm honest. It's the perfect.
No.
Yeah, it's more like a. What would I say? A thriller. I don't even know what it is.
It's something because I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it and I was like, oh, it's a bunch of Doombots essentially, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay, but you know what's funny? There's a couple of other films called Season of the Witch. I don't know if you've seen Nicolas Cage film, Season of the Witch. That's the best season of the Witch, by the way. There's a film in the 70s called Season of the Witch, which I had to watch because I was like, I'm gonna cuss about Season of the Witch anyways, right? It wasn't good. I can tell you that. It was also called Hungry Wives, but it's the 70s. It actually didn't even go in the direction I thought it might go because I was like, okay, whatever, right? Wacky 70s stuff. Nah, it didn't even go there. It wasn't entertaining at all.
But why can't it? I could take a whole episode talking about Halloween 3 Season of the Witch because it is like the best movie ever made. But it. I don't know. I prefer it to any of the Halloween films. Not Halloween, sorry. Friday 13th films because they're trash.
Okay. And Freddy, have you seen all of his films?
1, 2. So I see Nightmare on Elm Street 1, Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Yeah.
I think I've seen Dream Warriors, whichever one that is.
Oh yeah, I think that's number 3. Yeah.
And then I can't remember. Did I see the reboot? I don't think I saw the reboot.
Oh, didn't you see the reboot?
No, I don't know why I didn't.
Oh yeah, okay. I will say, I don't think Jackie Earle Haley was badly cast as Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
I just don't think he got the material failed him.
Yeah. That's what I heard.
Because, all right. So in the original in Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, the original version, he killed kids, right?
Yeah.
He sharpened knives and he made his glove and he killed kids, and then the town of Elm Street decided to go burn him, right?
Yeah.
They threw the thing. Yeah, okay, fine, right?
Yeah.
Okay, in this basement where all his killing tools were. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
But in the remake, they decide to make him a kiddie fiddler. And I'm like,
they went that route.
Yeah. And I was like, but you're edgy just to be edgy.
Yeah.
Being a child murderer is bad enough.
But going
and fair enough if you're gonna. Yeah. It's like, is it necessary? Is it really necessary?
No, you're trying to make him more of an evil person, but killing kids, like you said, the child murderer thing is enough. Yeah.
But it's different when you're like, oh, that's despicably evil.
Yeah.
And then there's evil, and you're like, yeah, but that's kind of. I don't like what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
As a piece of fiction, evil is like this. You're trying to make me hate the character, of course, yeah. But I'm hating that you're actually doing that to make me dislike the character. I'm disliking the people making it rather than just like you don't need to. Yeah.
But like,
I mean,
I guess because of like how the original films went, like he started off like a scary character, and then he started becoming more comedic, and you kind of started like he's the hero in this film.
Well.
But you know what I mean, like
he's the draw.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
He's the draw. He does become. Yeah.
So I guess they were trying like, okay, let's try and get him back to like being the evil person. But how can we do that? Oh yeah, let's make him a kiddie fiddler.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to go that far, but all right, sure.
Yeah.
Child murder is fine.
Well, look, if you saw him just shank a kid, then you'd be like, all right, that's enough. I just like that,
Yeah.
Even if you do the thing where he's luring a kid into his big panelless white van, very suspicious, yeah?
Yeah.
And then he's like, the kid comes in there for the candy or whatever, and then he pulls out a knife and oomph, right? Then you'd be like, okay,
Yeah, you can.
But, yeah. Okay, so I know you say you didn't like the Friday the 13th films.
Yep.
But what did you think when they changed Jason from a mutant to kind of like super high-tech survival expert-ish kind of thing, lived in the forest like in the remake for ages and stuff like that? I was like, okay, you're making him this guy's basically a brute. You're making him too seasoned.
But I don't know, for me that kind of adds more to his character, because like before that, then why was he, like, how did he learn these skills? I mean, like, why, how?
Well, he didn't have any skills. He just had had super durability because you saw the way his face is.
Yeah, but it's just like, but that doesn't mean like how he's able to like sneak around and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like him living in the forest, like being like a vagrant. And stuff
Okay,
like
okay.
That, kind of.
You're right. It gives some skill to him. It's fair enough, but I didn't need to look. Zombie Jason is supernatural. I didn't need an explanation of why he's in front of you, then behind you, and then also in front of you again.
Yeah, but that's kind of a problem I have as well. Is like, can you explain to like it never explained that he is supernatural? It's like,
No.
Oh yeah, we just.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He just is. He just kind of is. That's
and
it.
Like at least, all right. If you're doing like a couple of like say 2 films, that's it. You can kind of get around that. But like, how many films have got of it? Like, okay, you can kind of give me explanation why he's this, why he can do all this stuff. Then just he. Can just
I think that's at that point. I think from like after he resurrects the zombie Jason, you don't take this seriously at all. So they start doing things that are more. I don't want to say necessarily out of the realms of a horror film or even a slasher film. They just do stuff and you kind of get a laugh from it. I sing with like you're saying about Freddy, where they do stuff and then you're like, you know what? It's actually absurd.
Yeah, but
it's not scary anymore. It's just
Freddy, you kind of get around it because like he's invaded a dream, so you can do anything really in your dream.
It's true.
It's true. You know what I mean, but like, why is Jason the way he is?
Well, look, give him this at least, right? You got to be a very charismatic individual to not even say anything and get everything across. Like pro wrestlers that wear a mask.
Yeah.
Body language and what's it called? Facials. That's it.
Yeah.
And he had the mask as well. So you can't even see those.
But like my boy Michael Myers does it better. And like, I know that he's.
We'll say that the brother of the Undertaker, Kane, he ripped off Jason and not Michael Myers.
Yeah. I suppose.
But yeah, okay. But you say Michael's better, not necessarily because you enjoy his films more, or just because you dislike the others more.
Because like, I don't really dislike Freddy, if I'm honest. Like,
okay.
He's
got a gimmick that you're like, all right, I'll allow it.
Yeah, because like it's kind of explained why he's the way he is. Like
okay. Wait. Explain to me how the bastard son of 100 convicts.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Kills kids, gets burned to death, and suddenly becomes a dream entity.
Because of mass hysteria.
Okay, all right. Okay, fine. Okay, all right.
Because realistically,
all right.
Like
the psychic link up. Yeah, okay, I get it. Because this is the thing. When you sometimes you yawn.
Yeah.
And then the person looking at you also yawns.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when someone's frightened of something, right, and you can spread it, okay, they all psychically link together, right?
And also, this is another this is my theory, another way theory for like Jason, not Jason, sorry, Freddy. So he the murderer or the kiddie fiddler they burned and killed. He's dead, but because all the guilt of the people in that place who did it, that manifested this dream entity that jumped from.
Okay.
Dreams. You know what I mean? That kind of makes sense more than.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
All right, but let me ask. Back in the day, when you, so I was kind of more frightened of their aura than their actual characters' films because I hadn't seen them at that point, right?
Yeah.
But when you hear, horror, serial killers, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, damn. When I watched them years later, I'm like, you know what? It's not that frightening.
No.
Some of the stuff doesn't like you say doesn't make sense, yeah. And some of these stories are kind of in their own continuity sometimes.
Yeah.
But they had definitely when you're talking to people about it, there was a presence that you got from the characters where they were something to be like go to sleep and have nightmares about, right?
Yeah.
But they're not really actually.
No. Like the only one realistically I was scared of as a kid was Freddy because the whole dream thing. That's the reason why I was scared of Freddy. Like, okay, he could be real because I have dreams. So it's
yeah.
Like, there's no way.
Would you say? No, you go first.
I was gonna say there's no way that someone like Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees would be in the real world because he would be murdered by now by the police or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those sort of.
I mean that makes a decent amount of logical sense. I can't argue that. But did you think Michael Myers was better when Laurie wasn't his sister? If you know what I mean, like you know, when they rebooted and they just said, "Oh, he's not his sister. She's a random survivor of the murder spree," or did you think because like as they did in the initial series, it's so like, oh, he's going after this girl, so let's come up with a reason why he's specifically targeting this girl. It's like, no, she survived and you're going after her.
See,
you know, straightforward.
I like kind of both. Well, I mean,
okay.
I'm in camp. I don't mind either because the sister thing, I get okay. There's a connection there, but then to me, it's like, why do you want to kill your sister?
Yeah, because he killed his other sister.
Yeah, it's like,
and he can only be the only Myers standing,
maybe,
apparently.
like, unless, like, yeah, you know, he's a completionist. He's got to kill everyone in the whole family. Something like
yeah, but I didn't see him kill his mom and dad, so
no. Yeah, so like the and also her being a survivor makes sense. Like, okay, he didn't get to finish the job, so
yeah,
he wants to kill her. But I don't know. I like both his origins better than like he made this whole thing like his whole old backstory up, and he's just like insane. I mean, like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I did also like at least he's got a nemesis that is Dr. Loomis.
Yeah.
There, you know, someone. So look, I will say, as much as the Halloween series sometimes goes a bit downhill,
yeah,
Donald Pleasance is always there to give a good performance.
Yeah,
and I will say, surprisingly as well, Danielle Harris when she was a little kid, really good. I thought as a Jamie Lloyd. Shame they just decided to get rid of her in both continuities.
Yeah,
H2O continuity and. Well, the reboot continuity and then 2018 continuity, just like, nah, this character didn't exist.
Yeah, it's a different child, isn't it? Because then
even though Danielle Harris came back in Halloween in Rob Zombie's Halloween,
because
she played a teenager.
Yeah.
When she was 30 years old.
Because
that's fine, like she looks young, so that's fine, and that's probably part of the reason why. I mean, like, if she can still play a teenager when she's 30.
Yeah.
And when she's actually 17 in Halloween 6, imagine how long she actually looked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that could have been very shady.
Because then, obviously, is it H2? Not H2. Which is the one where Laurie has a son? Is that Resurrection?
Yeah, H2O, yeah, that's right.
So, that's another child of hers that doesn't exist. It's like...
and like you're saying about being a completionist, why... So they just probably couldn't. Josh Hartnett was probably too expensive for Halloween 8, and they were like, "All right, fine, we'll do something else."
Because like, it kind of her children who have been like retconned out of existence or back in. It kind of reminds me of like, this is a random comic reference, like Cyclops' kids. He's got like so many children that have just disappeared from existence. Like Ruby, what's her name? Ruby Summers, his daughter with Emma Frost in one universe, and then. He's got all Cyclops, Wolverine's kids as well. Like he's got a daughter with Psylocke in one universe. I can't remember what her name is. Wild Thought or something. I don't know.
Wolverine's got a whole bunch of kids that he don't even know about.
Well,
so
he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like it's. I just find it funny. Like let's introduce.
Hold on. Let me just interrupt you there just for 1 second and say, X-23 technically is not his kid because it's a clone of him.
No,
he didn't breed with anyone. So
no, but she was birthed. She was actually like, cause remember her DNA, Wolverine's DNA is taken, put into a woman's actual uterus.
But I guess that depends on what your definition of a child, his kid is. Because if it's a product of his genes, yes. If it's offspring, no.
Nah, cause I get like, okay, look, we're on a real tangent here. Like Superboy, Connell.
Oh yeah.
He technically, I would say, he's Superman's brother rather than his son. Because
this is an odd case because we're gonna just say, by the way, male DNA makes a child.
Yeah.
Right. I know. I kind of yes. In that sense, and kind of know in the other sense, you know. It's a bit of an awkward one, because logically speaking, lineage, he would be the son.
Yeah. But then it's because he's like, I don't know, because I see it as because he was born in test, like not even born, he's created in test tube and like wasn't.
I guess I would say this is dependent on how much DNA they took of Superman that they could use, and then how much they filled in of the DNA markers with something else that they couldn't replicate.
Yeah.
And if you're saying it's 90% Superman DNA, for example, right?
Yeah.
Then you could argue that he's technically, the brother / clone sort of, twin sort of thing. But if you're saying it's 50-50, then you know,
it's weird. But like X-23 is Wolverine's like child because like they took they took his sperm, put it inside a woman, and she gave birth.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's a
actual.
Okay.
Child. Okay. I thought they cloned. I thought she was. They took his DNA.
Yeah.
And changed it to the female markers, and then put it in a surrogate.
I think. Wait, because I know originally, before I know so much about it. Before because she was made for the X-Men Evolution cartoon.
Yeah.
Basically, they done it as she was creating a test tube, and was in an incubator and all that. And then it wasn't until the comic when they made her actual origin, I think later that year, where they introduced they tried to clone Wolverine without a woman, without having a womb and all that stuff. And that's when they were saying his gene couldn't be transferred to a male one. So that's when they modified it and then put it into a woman, and then she gave birth to it. So technically, So
okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's got nothing to do with these three guys.
Yeah.
But all right. Yeah.
Random.
How do we get there from there? But anyways. Okay. But yeah. Do you think they should have brought some of the do you think they should have brought Josh Hartnett back for the lols?
Yeah,
just to get killed.
Yeah, just get killed, or even at least mentioned.
Yeah,
because he mentioned.
But then they didn't.
H2O.
No, as though he never existed. But then again, that timeline ended with Halloween Resurrection. So, and he used to hate Buster Rhymes in that, right? Yeah. But he's actually the best part of it now. I'm watching it.
You know what's funny? Like I keep hearing that now. It's like some weird renaissance. Like, yeah, you know what? He actually was the best part of that film. I'm like, oh, okay. Makes sense.
Oh. Yeah, because he plays it like he knows exactly what type of film he's in.
He's in it, but no one else is. Yeah.
And it's just because he starts martial arts. He cuts a promo on Michael Myers.
Yeah.
And he fights him martial arts style, and I was like, what?
Okay.
But then you're like, you know what? This film is it's a comedy slasher.
Yeah, this film
it's not
time ago.
Yeah.
So let's just roll with it.
Yeah. It's not serious. It's not even trying to be serious at that point anymore. I mean, the first bit of it where he kills Laurie Strode, that started serious, But then the rest of it.
No, for that,
I will say, I will agree with you on one thing about Michael Myers being the best of, and he has the best theme tune of all these guys. His entrance music, he's got the best one.
Does Jason Voorhees even have one?
He's got the that one. The stalking music where he's in the forest and his mum's talking to him inside his head or stuff like that.
Good.
And Freddy's got the little jingle, but it's not really it's not a haunting sort of theme.
No.
It's just like, here's the title credits, ding ding ding,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I feel. Michael, by default, Michael's the best.
But so you don't think they stand the test of time? As considering it is 40 years plus since there's Inceptions.
Maybe because because they could be rebooted so easily. Yeah, they stand. They stand.
But are you saying it could be done better, or they have other horror films that do better things in the genre than these guys?
I don't know, because I feel like horror's changed now. It's sort of kind of more one and done. It's more psychological horror stuff like that now.
Yes. I do agree with you. At the beginning of The Conjuring with the doll Annabelle, those 10 minutes, they were haunting. I was like, wow, and then the actual Annabelle movie wasn't as good as the 10 minutes of the Conjuring movie, but whatever, right?
But Yeah, because you got that film like Sinister, things like they're not like serial killer sort of things. It's like you said, like supernatural, like actual build upon the supernatural stuff, and it's more resonating than like, hey, no, yeah, this Jack dude is like killing people. Okay,
yeah.
What's his reason?
I mean, yeah, that like after watching all those 3 guys and their 3 movies and stuff like that, I think I've never had a time where I go to sleep and I'm thinking, all right, I'm shaking in my bed going, I'm feeling like, the cold shivers and stuff like that.
Like,
see The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2, and sometimes you get like, oh, that's kind of like, it sticks in your mind sometimes.
Yeah.
Not necessarily The Conjuring 2, but that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's even like the earlier, like the early Paranormal Activities, which I liked up to. Wait, did I like 1?
How many of them are there? 7?
Maybe I dropped off at 4.
Okay.
Yeah. And
yeah.
like
I like. It's one of those things where if you the ones that stick with me more are the ones where you don't see it.
Yeah.
In the dark, wherever it was, right?
Yeah.
It gives it a bit more of a hauntingness to it. Yeah. I think nowadays when you get to see things, is okay. It shocked you that first time and you dislike it, right? Or it might make you think, oh, right?
Yeah.
But in your imagination, it will look so much worse.
Yeah.
And if you don't see it, it's like afraid of the dark sort of thing.
Yeah.
What could be there,
Yeah.
I like all that stuff. Like I know I got to keep on pointing at The Conjuring though. When they're like the doors were opening and closing and they're pulling the girl from the bed and stuff like that. It's just like we don't ever see it, right? No. But it sets up. Well, not there, anyways, right? Yeah. But it sets up the chills,
Yeah. Like this is, and also you kind of feel with like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees and Freddy and all that. You kind of know, all right, the 80 minutes of this movie where they're in, they're going to be untouchable until some convenient way of killing them at the end happens.
I will say, like, so most Freddy films are him joking about making wisecracks while he's coming up with a ludicrous way to kill some people, right? Yeah. And I will say as well, most of those characters are not likable anyway. They're there to be killed. They're not there to be an artistic piece of work, right? They're not there to go, oh yeah, I'm a dramatic actor, nothing like that. No, I'm here to be body fodder,
Yeah.
Like Jason's got that mask that you don't see, but when he removes his mask and you do see it, that's makeup. Like it's a haunting looking face, but it's not really something, it's makeup. You got the skull face, whatever it is looking. Yeah. I will say with Michael Myers, when he puts the mask on, and I'm like, oh yeah, that boiler suit and what stuff like, you can just say it's a flesh suit, containing evil, right?
Yeah.
Except that there are times where he does take it off, and you don't kind of see his face, but not really.
Yeah.
That's what I prefer. It's just
Michael like as well. You never saw his face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he's just like.
Well, he does take his mask off a couple times, but they're always in the shadow.
Yeah. You don't see his face, so he's like true, and he always sort of be a mystery sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than like Jason, where his mask comes all the time. He's got that weird booger light, or he gets demutated back to a child.
Yeah. That was like, and just to throw my boy into the fire even more, right? Yeah. Each version of his films, which are supposed to be in continuity with each other, he looks different. Even when there's nothing done to him, whatever, right?
Yeah. So it's like, okay.
I see, but later on in the Michael Myers films, he just became a guy in a mask rather than like the untamed evil spirit from hell that's come to murder people, and you're like, what demon is within this guy, sort of thing,
Yeah.
But none of that.
No.
Nah.
He's probably be the most. It's sound weird and stupid. The most relatable out of all of them.
How do you mean?
Because like he has there's no sort of method to his madness sort of thing. It's more like I said, like before, he's more a force of nature rather than like Jason's is to get revenge for I don't know.
Well, okay, this you get there to get revenge for different things, but well, I'll get to that afterwards. After you explain Michael.
Yeah, Michael's is like a tormented kid, and he's like, you know what? In my head canon, he made a deal with the devil and was like, hey, I'm gonna kill things. You right there? Devil's like, yeah, sure, I'll give you some kind of like not powers, but you know, I'll look after you, whatever, innit? And he just and he just follows the
if
same
that was
person.
the case.
You know what I mean? Like he has a reason. All the people that Jason kills, is there any connection to them at all? Except for that one guy, with Tommy Lannister, whatever his name is, I don't know. Tommy Jarvis.
Tommy Jarvis.
Yeah, and like he comes in later, doesn't he? So it's like,
yeah. Okay. Now, I will say as well, just like your headcanon. If you got bullied at school, like Michael Myers, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then he started shanking the kids, and then you're like saying, you know, that's where the evil started. Then I don't know if giving a backstory, by the way, takes away from the character, because you give him the sympathy. Like the Joker's just a Joker, right? We don't necessarily need his backstory in the Killing Joke or anything like that, or with Free Jokers or whatever they want to give him, right?
Yeah.
Just come in there, do your stuff, and just sow chaos, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't need to be sympathetic for you because you're not supposed to be a sympathetic character. And I don't need to have the reason for your chaos.
Yeah.
Because it just takes away of why you're doing it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Michael coming in there, like you're saying, and he's just like, yeah, well, you know what, I'm just going to essentially feed souls to the devil.
Yeah.
Or, you know, whatever I'm going to do because, you know, I'm evil. Yeah. That's it. Yeah? Done, dusted. All right, fine. And then Dr. Loomis can explain all that stuff, you know?
He kind of explain that, doesn't he? You know, he's like,
No, but one thing, as a character, it's like trying to give the reasons for Michael. So he's the mouthpiece because Michael can't say it. But whatever he says, it can be the reason for Michael to explain to the audience. And just like this guy, like he said, like he was saying in the beginning, is like, you know, hell won't have him.
Yeah.
That's and that gives the creeps to the people. That's why the white expressionist mask kind of works.
Yeah.
But yeah, then they tried to, I don't know what they were trying to do with Halloween 4 and 5 and whatever.
That's a bit weird.
You were saying about why does Jason... Okay, so we know why Freddy does what he does, right?
Yeah.
Because the townspeople killed him and he's like, well, I'm going to kill your kids. Even though I was killing your kids to begin with.
Kill them more this time. Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right, so Jason got bullied and then he drowned, right?
Yeah.
So then his mum took revenge for him, yeah? Even though, logically speaking, this wouldn't make sense because Jason is alive. Anyways, mum just hates the counselors, I guess, because she's like, they killed my poor Jason, right?
Yeah.
Even though, if he's alive, then...
how did that... Or...
Yeah. They allowed him to be killed, so technically, you could say, depending on her wording, you'd be like, oh, well, he drowned and he did die for a certain amount of time, right?
Yeah.
Before she revived him, and then he's alive again. All right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then they kill his mum. Right?
Yeah.
So then he gets revenge for his mum. And that's why, like, you know, they and he's around Camp Crystal Lake. They're the ones that bullied him in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Camp Crystal Lake killed his mum. He lives at Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
And then it all causing chaos and being promiscuous in his vicinity. And he's just like, look, man just wants to have some peace like the Hulk, right?
Yeah.
Sit down into the river somewhere and not revive, but you people are going to cause me to come up, yeah? And slice and dice.
Yeah.
They come into his house and wrecking his place.
Yeah, but like he could be just like, cool, whatever. Just, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna just stay in the river. You guys have your fun up there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I don't. It's just, and then
I will say as well at the beginning of so even in his when he's resting, right? When I say he's dead, right? At the point, and he's having visions of killing people in Crystal Lake because at the beginning of Jason vs. Freddy pulls him from hell.
Yeah.
Where he's killing people, where Jason's just, you know, just shanking that one lady.
Yeah.
And then Freddy turns into Mama Voorhees. And then he tells Jason to come up, rise from the grave, to go to Elm Street, to go kill the kids so they think it's Freddy coming back. I'm like, oh, you know what? That makes logical sense to me to get this story going. Yeah, I accept it.
I accept it. But like,
Were you not a fan of that crossover?
Like I can't remember. That's how much of a fan I'm not.
Oh, all right.
But like, I don't know. I kind of felt like, I don't know. Maybe I think this is when I realized not one of the times in my life I was like, you know what? Don't expect anything. Just go in.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I think in my
it was
head,
awesome though.
I was like, you know what? This is gonna be the best film ever. Blah blah. Blah. And then I was like, why do I think this is gonna be the best film ever? Like, it's obviously they got to find some weird convoluted way for them to meet and have a
as much as, and then you like it as much as convoluted as it actually makes straightforward sense when you They didn't choose something and go, okay, we're gonna do this, that, and the other, and make them. No, they just were like this route A to route B.
Yeah,
done.
So I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I don't know, maybe I just thought it was gonna be just a literary film with them like fighting, which doesn't make any sense because you can't do a 90-minute film with just two people just fighting. Cause it's dumb. So obviously, you bring in like the victims and all that stuff, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know what I don't know what I was thinking. I thought it was alright. Okay.
Oh, you saddened me. You hurt me to my soul.
Predator.
But
he was better. Yeah.
Okay, so would you like to see any of them guys like Freddy or Jason crossover with Michael Myers, or
I don't know,
or you're thinking it's too desperate to do a triple threat crossover or something like that, or do you think it's the next logical step after Freddy versus Jason versus Michael?
Yeah, but I'm trying to think how you would do it, because like
it's an awkward one because Michael doesn't have powers.
No.
So he would be the first to go down because he's as much as you're going to say he is human, he's probably I think there's a certain amount of damage that Michael can't take that Jason
and Freddy probably could take. Yeah.
Well, Freddy probably doesn't need to take because he can just be like, "Oh, I'm going to dip into the dream world. I'll see you guys in a bit."
Trying to think, like,
I did see a fan film, by the way.
Yeah.
It was Jason versus Michael. Emergence of Evil, or something like that. I think it was called. Anyways, it was zombie Jason as well, right?
Yeah.
And Michael was shanking some people at Crystal Lake, and Jason's like there, so it's like, all right. And then they have a machete to kitchen knife fight, which is a bit weird because you know how like Jason moves at a certain speed, and Michael's kind of stiff moving.
Yeah.
So you're not talking about dodging and weaving.
No.
Jason stands like he can stand there and he just take the shots because that's his character, right? But Michael can't take the shots because that machete is gonna hurt him.
Yeah.
So it was a bit like as fun as it was to watch it, I was like, all right, but one of these guys can take way more damage than the other guy.
Yeah.
So and in the end, like you're saying, right, they had some goons pop up.
Yeah.
Like they're fighting each other. They get from one part to another part or whatever. These goons, they fight in some guy's garage, right?
Yeah.
And like in Logan, where you get the people with their shotguns thinking all they're bad mans, and then they get shanked up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Jason and Freddy were like,
we'll stop our beef for a minute and murder these people.
Yeah. Well, no, these guys started like we're beefing with each other, and these guys are shooting us. Yeah. Right. Let's do a tag team, finish these guys, and then we can finish ourselves, right? And then after they finish killing everyone, then it cuts to the face off, and then in credits because you can only go so long on a fan film that.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Do you think Michael could withstand a shotgun blast?
In number 4.
Yeah.
He takes a shot. I think it's number 4. Maybe, I think it's number 4. At the end of number 4, he's taking shotguns and rifles. To be fair, they're probably about 20 feet away from him.
Yeah. Okay.
20 meters, maybe? I don't know, but they're distance away from him, right? Yeah. But he's taking the shots, right? He's reacting to the hits. Then he floats down river, and then a year later he comes back. But he's like, all right. So I don't think he can stand there and take them like Jason would have, and then sit up and then proceed to murder all the policemen, right? And you say about how in Halloween Kills how basically he makes the town go a bit mad because of his presence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of. That was done in Halloween No, sorry, yeah. I think that the guns were Halloween 5, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
I can't remember specifically because I did watch them back to back.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, he does. There's a similar thing that goes on.
Yeah.
When Michael comes back to town, it probably is number 4, in fact. And the townspeople get their guns out. Yeah, we're gonna get Michael and stuff like that. And they end up shooting one guy, one of their own guys.
Yeah.
So
idiots.
Yeah, they kind of do the gimmick, like you're saying, where it's like his presence causes the town to go a bit crazy.
Yeah.
Due to fear. Except they don't go as far as Halloween Kills. And I think they should have, like you said, to Halloween Ends, where they kind of all just become not bloodlutted, but just be then realize they've been infected.
Yeah, they have become Michael. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why they didn't do that way. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's why you go backtrack again. That's what I'm saying. That's why Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
It's kind of ruined by Halloween Ends. It's like, oh yeah, he just disappeared, and like years later, we're all just kind of, I guess, dealing with what happened. I don't know.
Well, that did be fine but Michael's living in the sewer and he gets beat up by an outcast kid who's getting beat up by teenagers before that.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Yeah.
And they went to. He saw someone get murdered, where his blood rage came back, and he's like, "Hey, I'm slowly getting more powerful." Yeah.
But by that point, we only got 20 minutes of the film, so I kind of I'm the headliner, except that I'm kind of I gotta now they paid me to show up. I'm gonna show up.
Yeah, and now I have to also be a mentor to someone, but kind of not, because I don't.
And then I'm gonna repower myself to my original version.
Yeah.
Because I gotta fight the fight. I'm like,
what?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like that bit where it's like that bit in Friday the 13th Part 9 where Jason starts body hopping.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, I'm saying all of a sudden, you can body hop now. I thought he was a zombie. You know what I mean? It's like...
yeah. Where did those powers come from?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? It's like I can accept a zombie being a bullet sponge, right?
Yeah, but not jumping from body to body.
Yeah. I can't accept that.
Even if it was like Jason X within space, I'm like, okay, maybe there's some like nanobots or whatever in it. I can kind of buy that, but you're not nowhere near that at that point. Like that doesn't.
Well, I haven't read yet because it's in comics. I don't think they're going to do a movie of it. It was Freddy versus Jason versus Ash from Evil Dead.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. That'd be interesting. Even though Ash is not going to be able to take a huge amount of damage, but he's got personality, right?
Yeah, he'll win anyway. But...
there was going to be Pinhead at the end of Jason versus Freddy.
Yeah, I heard about that, but some weird licensing thing didn't clear up in time in it, so he couldn't do it. Something weird. Like,
And they would have to CGI hell where Jason and Freddy were after they're fighting, and then Pinhead comes and kind of says, "Gentlemen, what is going on here?" or something along those lines. But okay, but then how do you work Hellraiser into that?
Yeah.
I
think it got a bit too ambitious. Like, man, how are you?
Yeah. Because fair enough, it's a cameo as well, but it's like
I feel like, say that was the next one. Jason versus Freddy versus
aliens, yes.
And then at the end, like, somehow Skynet's involved and you see the term. You know what I mean? It'd be like, where are we going with these? Like, this is some weird broken Avengers that's not gonna make any sense, Like, what are they coming together to do? Like, destroy the Earth? Like, realistically, it probably takes one if you do that, but alright, sure, I guess.
I have seen I've seen a good couple of Jason Phantoms. Never Hike Alone. I think I remember. I made you watch it, but no, I didn't. But I think there's one also called Friday the 13th Vengeance. I think that's the one. That's where Jason's dad is alive still.
Okay.
And it kind of explains. It tries to explain why Zombie Jason is a zombie. And it's because he used the Evil Dead, the book, the Necromedian, to bring back Jason. But people are saying that doesn't quite make sense because Jason's not one of those Evil Dead zombies.
Yeah.
It could be a variant, right? Maybe he said the words slightly different or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Maybe you could just bring him back as a specific type of zombie, not the ones that are like from the same book as the Evil Dead, but not those specific ones in the Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. I don't need an explanation for Zombie Jason.
No.
I want to say is they try to shank him in the heart with the pike. The lightning hit the pike. He revived his rotten corpse. Fine, you know.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
It's like your favorite, the X-Men, right? Why do I need an explanation? Like they just come up with the mutations.
Yeah.
I don't need an explanation of why the specific mutation
Yeah.
has this ability and why similar ones don't have. You know, it just it just has the ability done and dusted. Yeah. It's just like when a radioactive spider bites you and you get spider powers. All right.
Yeah, okay. Sure. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. But you think if Jason wasn't tied up with rights issues, do you reckon they would have made a new Friday the 13th film?
Maybe. Or I reckon what they... I think I might have said it before. I reckon what they should do is make it into a series.
I think they... Okay.
Flush it all out a bit more.
What kind of series are you talking?
Like, not like Origin of Freddy, because that's just weird. Why would you like... Yeah, he murders kids in every episode.
So it had Freddy Krueger, but then he introed the rest of the series. And there was a Friday the 13th TV series as well. But they were their own individual episode stories. Like, you know, the Outer Limits and that sort of thing. Where, you know, those sort of stories. Oh. Well, you're thinking of like the Boats Motel then, where they do the backstory.
No, but I don't know. I don't know if I want a backstory because it's like that can be super depressing. Like, oh yeah, he's how many? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It works for Hannibal, by the way, right?
Yeah.
I've seen some of the Hannibal. I think the first 2 seasons of that. It works for him, right?
Yeah, because he's more of an intrigue. Like he's a character-based character, if that makes sense. But like Freddy, unless you do before he becomes a murderer, like what led him sort of to become that, then I get that. But if it's just like him murdering to the point where the town kill him, then it's like, no, I don't really need that aspect.
No, exactly. Yeah. And same with Jason, man. As you can have each episode, he's just a whole bunch of fresh new kills or something like that. It's just like not really anything there.
No.
Nah. But to be fair, these characters have had a sustainable legacy, I will say.
Yeah.
And I enjoy so Jason's got tied up with rights issues. Yeah. But there's many films. Final Girls? The Final Girl?
That sounds right, yeah. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, no, I cut out for a second. What carry on saying? Sorry. I think you frozen. Hello?
Later on in the film, and then they're like, oh, you know, reliving the memories or whatever, right?
Yeah. And
they go to the cinema to watch the film.
Yeah.
That her mother's in, right? And they get transported into the film.
Okay.
You know, we're just going to allow that, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Just like Last Action, and then they figure out, because they know they're in a slasher film.
Yeah.
And then they're at basically Crystal Lake, but it's not Crystal Lake because they can't use that. And there is a guy in a hockey mask.
Yeah.
But not a hockey mask coming after them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they use all the tropes that we would expect of these slasher films. And yeah.
Okay.
It's not like when we'll say these series that started as horror become tongue in cheek. Yeah. They know exactly what they are, right? But when you're like Scream, where you're like, okay, let's use these things that the characters traditionally do as tools to tell a story that's about the film writing process, kind of ish. Then it becomes like, oh, we're in the joke now. The writers are in the joke now, and everyone knows, and we're writing around that. You know?
Yeah. Did you ever watch? It's kind of related, but not related at the same time. Did you ever watch the Scream TV show?
Yes, 1, 2, and 3. There's 3 seasons. Yeah,
3 seasons. Yeah.
And the 3rd season had nothing to do with the first 2 seasons.
No, because that was again a good thing about the first 2 seasons. They linked, and the third one was like, oh, this is halfway across the country. Like, wait, what? Yeah,
I think they should have just continued the third. If they're going to do a 3rd season, why not just continue that 3rd season? Like, let it finish, conclude its storyline.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it ended on not a cliffhanger, but like it could have been continued.
Yeah, because they didn't reveal who the new killers were at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Not only that, yeah. But is that series connected to the movies, or are they? Is it like the new movies?
Yeah.
You got the Scream franchise, the movie franchise, and I think it's a separate continuity from the TV franchise.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think you're right.
And the first 2 seasons of the TV franchise are separate from the third one.
Third, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I enjoyed those 2. I enjoyed the season 1 too. Yeah.
Did you? And also, have you watched it? I ain't watched it yet. I don't know if I could bother with it at this point. The TV series of I Know What You Did Last Summer.
No, I haven't. Yeah. I haven't. I might see if I can see where that is. But I definitely am going to watch Chucky. At some point, I will watch Chucky. Yeah. Sorry? It's 3 seasons.
Oh, 3 seasons now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to watch the new movie. Well, I say the latest movie of Chucky, but...
Well, the one where it's an AI doll?
Yeah.
I heard it's pretty good, because there's another one coming out, isn't there?
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But you're not thinking of... Have you seen Megan?
No, I want to see that as well. I heard that's pretty good.
Yeah. As a horror or as a slasher or what kind of?
I don't know. You know.
I think it's kind of like it is. It's less of a slasher, more of a horror, because she does stuff that like it's not for the kills. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's also Malignant as well. I haven't seen that, but it's meant to be really good.
Yeah, it's meant to be really good.
But James Wan can do really good horror. And I think these guys, like Jason, Freddy, Michael, they could be revived, but you just need to get the right people to back the projects.
Yeah. Wait, so I'm just quickly checking something. So there's Child's Play.
Mm-hmm.
What came out in 2019? Okay, then is Cult of Chucky related to like Bride, Seed, and Curse?
Yep. So that's the original timeline Chucky. Yeah, that's Child's Play 1, 2, and 3, and then he goes to Chucky.
Okay. Just trying to make sure that. Okay. But like, I don't think the TV show. So the TV show related to the original timeline as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where you get Fiona Dorff, who's the daughter of Brad Dorff, plays the young version of him in flashbacks. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. That intrigues me to see it, because I'm like, how do they dress up? How do they make the lady look like the young version of her dad?
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay, yep. That's why.
And she's in it as well. She's a character in the later Chucky films.
Yeah.
Which is even like, okay, very creative. Not very creative, but it's just like, well, okay. They've got the people to do it, and they're dedicated to do it. So yeah.
Oh, hats off to them, man.
Yeah.
But I'll get around to probably watching Chucky too. Yeah, because I think how many?
Wait, yeah. So go.
I think I've seen Child Blade 1. I think I might have seen 2, and then I think after 3 I didn't bother.
Yeah.
Then it started going to, my opinion, like Leprechaun territory, like. Yeah.
A horror comedy, yeah.
Yeah.
No, let's leave those guys for
for
the
another
next
time. For another time.
Exactly. Because yes, look, there are good couple of horror icons, right?
Yeah.
And some of them, like we say, they like with these guys, they start in a particular genre and then they go into a different sort of genre, and you're like,
Yeah.
Like the Terminator becomes an action hero. It's like, well,
from being like mass murderer to action hero. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. It's something. Terminator is something that should be feared, at least in the first movie, right? Yeah. And then, he's cracking. Is even I don't know what your programming is about that, anyways, right? But then again, it which also leads back to the big three over here, right?
Yeah.
It's like your movies start one way, and then I don't know if it's a genre shift or the audience decided got wise to it, or because you're pumping out too many in a small amount of time that you use in the same ideas over and over again. And you're all three of you using it.
Yeah.
And all the knockoffs as well in between that, right?
Yeah.
That in that short period of time, writers realize what's going on and then they adapt to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then once you're like, okay, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, then you've then you've made it into something else, and it's no longer that to begin with.
It's kind of that,
yeah. Do you think that's a problem with all horror, or do you think it's just like
it's kind of sort of happening in a way with the sort of new, like they had that same sort of thing in the late 90s, early 2000s, where like Scream was successful, and so was like No, We Did Last Summer. Then like you had all these other ones like Urban Legend and all that stuff, but all kind of the same sort of film, but just insert like popular person in their mid-20s as lead character, play teenager. Yeah, and then,
yes.
And then it's kind of happening now with, like, as much as I enjoy like these psychological sort of horrors where supernatural stuff, they're sort of becoming like the same sort of thing nowadays. Like, oh yeah, there's this jump scare thing, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, we had like Smile and all these other ones. Like, oh, okay, I guess.
I will say this. At least these films don't have the music cue that plays extra loud just to get a jump from you.
Yeah.
You're like, you know.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You open the door, and then instead of the killer behind the door, it's a cat or whatever, and it jumps at you. Yeah, right, whatever. Okay. Right, a cheap shock. Right, fine.
Yeah.
But when all the dialogue is quiet, and then all of a sudden they switch the light on and they play some the musical cue is massive, and you're like, I'm shocked because of the sound, not because of whatever I see on screen. You know?
Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't like so you're not do you like when if a horror villain has a nemesis, as in like say Michael Myers, he's got Dr. Loomis, he's got Laurie Strode, and he's got kind of Jamie Lloyd, but not really ish. And Jason's got Tommy Jarvis, as you know. He's got a couple of others, but the most sustainable one is Tommy Jarvis for some reason. And then you got Freddy, who's had Nancy, but she only appeared in 2 of them. And technically, she's in Wes Craven's New Nightmare, but that's Heather Langenkamp playing Heather Langenkamp and not Nancy, even though they reference it because Freddy's coming into the real world.
Okay.
So I don't know if you would say that's kind of I wouldn't say Freddy's got a main nemesis though.
No. It sets him up out of the rest, and maybe.
Yeah. But do you prefer them having a well? Here's the thing, right? If a character comes back, it's just like, well, you serial killer are not kind of efficient at your job because you come to kill people, everyone on screen, and then there's one for some reason you can't kill this but one person.
You're kind of crap. Maybe you should retire.
Yeah. Well, but then your favorite Michael, he could have killed Laurie in about 3 or 4 films.
Well, to be fair, if we're going like continuity wise, like he failed in Halloween. Halloween like kills and ends. That's only Halloween 1 and Halloween 2018, and then. Yeah, so he tried once, failed, and then waited like 40 years to try again, which makes it. I don't know. Maybe he was planning that whole time, but I don't know.
And as Jason got killed many times, and he actually came back from death.
He came back from dead, but then he realized he had no one. Well, he's got Tommy Jarvis, whatever, but. Like,
no. But what I'm saying is, he as many films as Jason's in.
Yeah.
Even though he dies, he never actually dies. No. And the same with Freddy, right? But then... Whereas Michael Myers, they're like, we're gonna. I don't know if that was a good idea. If you're gonna set it in its own, like if the Rob Zombie films happened, right, and then Michael died, you'd be like, okay, that's its own set of trilogy, fine, right?
Yeah.
But when you're saying, our main timeline, Michael Myers is dead. Have you killed the franchise, or are you going to reboot? How's that going to go? You know, unless they're going to get unless it's going to get Scout Taylor Compton to come back, and then they do Rob Zombie's Halloween 3 40 years later or something like that.
Which I wouldn't be surprised if they do something like that, because it's going to happen, isn't it?
Oh, well, you know what? 3 years from now, right?
Yeah.
That'll be the 20th anniversary of Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they could do Halloween H2O again.
They could, yeah. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. 20 years later, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. Like, maybe it's like the problem with the Terminator film. There's like, all right, 1 and 2 in all the different branching timelines. 1 and 2 happened.
Yeah.
But then, we're gonna do where Terminator 3 didn't happen. We get Salvation. Then we're gonna get we're gonna do where Salvation technically doesn't happen. Neither does Terminator 2. We get Genesis. And then then the newest one which again I like Dark Fate, but anyway, where 1 and 2 happens, and literally straight after number 2, we kill John Connor, then we get a whole new thing. Which I like number 2. I mean, I like Dark Fate, and I kind of like that timeline. But it's like, just reboot the whole thing. Don't pick and choose where you want to carry on from. You know, it's just
yeah. It gets a bit messy. Yeah. When you're like, oh, they're actually not related to each other, even though
it's got majority of the same actors. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any.
Yeah, that franchise could do. I say a reboot. They just need to get a new guy to be the Terminator, and then to start again.
Just start again, reboot it completely. Like, so do Terminator 1 again, like not as that shot for shot remake, but you know what I mean, like start afresh.
Yeah. But you're saying, okay. So if they were gonna do, you're saying they shouldn't even bother doing a new Friday the 13th?
No,
is that what you're
they
saying?
shouldn't. Like, to be fair,
Okay,
they shouldn't even bother doing a new Halloween.
Yeah. Just... Well, now you think the only one with potential then you're saying is Nightmare on Elm Street to do something.
Yeah, and just not you like instead of having Freddy make a new person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know about here's the awkward dodgy thing when you're doing that though, because then they'd be like they expect, like when the new Candyman happened, you expect Tony Todd to be there, even though Tony Todd's like Tony Todd doesn't even look like he's aged that much. No. So he could still be there.
He could still be there. Yeah,
but then I get the gimmick of multiple Candymen.
Yeah, which I enjoyed about that. That's one of the things I did enjoy about that. Oh, okay, it's sort of like a legacy sort of thing, right? Yeah. Where it's been multiple, like you said, multiple Candyman throughout the decades or whatever. Yeah. But could you do that, Freddy? I don't know.
Unless you're gonna say he's got his group of people that become his
no,
but his Nightmare minions, something like that. I don't know. They're gonna be like you say, he's he's the final boss of the movie. That's a sequel teaser as well.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't need to you just do a new Nightmare on Elm Street or something like that, and then at the very end he's there. Yeah. Saying, okay, my guy messed up, and then I've got to do something, whatever, something, I don't know.
Because they did that with a film. In the last 10 years, they did that with a reboot a film, and they teased someone from the original, but the film didn't do that well, so they never got a sequel. I'm trying to remember what film it was now.
Well, was it the Evil Dead? Because the Evil Dead actually got a sequel. But Ash was at the end credits of Evil Dead, even though all he did was say groovy, but then it wasn't. Yeah.
There was another film they did it, but it wasn't a horror film. It was like an action film or something, and they like kind of teased like, "Oh, he's coming," blah blah, and they, what was it? And I laughed because like, you're not. Why did you think it was gonna? Not been bad. Like, why do you think you're getting a sequel? You try to tease something big. It's not happening.
Yeah. Like some movies do that.
I'm trying to remember about that. I don't remember what it was, but I just found it hilarious.
Okay. But you're okay. You're not a fan of any of these franchises, is that what you're saying? We just basically go an hour long just for you to say, all three of these guys. Nah.
No, like I don't know. Maybe like I said, I'm only a fan of like the Halloween film because maybe it's like Stockholm Syndrome. But I just started to enjoy him. Plus, also, like I said,
you're hostage, and you're like, all right. It's better to enjoy these films than the other two films.
Or maybe it might be like I said, I do enjoy Halloween 3, but it has nothing to do with Jason. I mean, Michael Myers, whatever. But maybe I think I enjoy Halloween more because that was like sort of the first ones I properly watched like a majority of them. Like, I saw the first Freddy, didn't see the rest for like many years later. But I think when I saw Halloween, I like I said before. I saw them with reverse order. I saw 3 first and then 1, 2, so forth. So maybe that's probably why I hold him more highly than like the others.
What? So, but so you watched the Halloween first, and then what? Friday 13th, and then Nightmares afterwards, or
Yeah. No, I watched Halloween's first, then Nightmare, and then the Jasons, and I was like, oh, okay.
Okay. Even though if I didn't make you watch them, you would have skipped them.
Yeah, because I just felt like he was a cheap ripoff of my boy Michael. Like,
well, and to be fair, he was at the time.
At the time,
and then it became his own other thing afterwards.
Yeah.
And technically, it wasn't even him; it was his mum that was the ripoff of Michael. But
yeah.
I watched the Friday the 13th first.
Yeah.
Then I watched the Halloweens.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I might have watched one of the Halloweens first.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even number 1. I think I saw number 4 first or whatever.
Yeah.
Then I watched the Friday the 13th, and then I watched all the Halloweens, and then only earlier this year did I saw Nightmare on Elm Street like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And then that. So I have to say as well, the first time that I watched that, when I was actually old enough to watch these films, because they're supposed to be 18, 15, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then with the Jason films, by the way, it's not because they're because rating. It's not like in at the beginning of Halloween, you see Michael Myers shank his big sister, right?
Yeah.
And she's semi-nude, right?
Yeah.
But it's not about that. In the Jason films, it's all like, oh yeah, we're gonna get a bit of titillation here. And then we're gonna get the kills as well, and that's what's gonna knock up the age rating, you know?
Yeah.
Like, all right.
I think that's probably why later on I kind of didn't like the Rob Zombie ones, because like nudity in it for like no reason. Like, oh, okay.
I want to say I mean, not no necessarily no reason, but it is the slasher formula, and he was like, I'm embracing exactly what the type of movies that they've become now.
Yeah.
So I'm going for that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like he's saying, okay, this is a horror movie.
Yeah.
That has nudity in it. It's like, no, this is a slasher movie, good and proper. We know, you know,
Yeah.
this is the direction we're going.
Yeah.
Whereas Halloween 2018 is just like, we're not going to try and be a slasher film, even though we're going to have slasher elements.
Yeah.
We're going to try and make it as straight as possible.
Yeah.
For you know, someone come to kill you, and that's what's going to.
Yeah.
Even though we used to say it's technically action suspense as well at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, it did take place in the daytime quite a bit.
Yeah.
Whereas if it took place a bit darker, then you'd be like more spooks, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it just showed that Michael was at this point waited 4 years, like, you know what, I'm just gonna do stuff in day, I don't care anymore. You know? So
True. It's like, you know, I've been not only was 6 years old and killed my sister. I was then waited 15 years to break out of the mental facility to go and kill her, and he's 21 at that point, right?
Yeah.
Then 4 years later, because he got captured, he's like 61. He's like, you know, I've only got a certain amount of years left.
Yeah.
I want to just go and walk around in the daytime and stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's like it's not like. Yeah. But then it's like the same that happened with Batman, where he I think he went around in the daytime in Long Halloween or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the barman tried to hit him with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
And Batman catched it and he punched the guy in the face, but he goes, my presence has has more oomph, emphasis during the night, something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Even though Jason can walk around in the daytime, it's fine, because look at that spooky face.
Yeah.
Look at that through a rotting smell. You don't want to go anywhere near that guy.
That's another thing, like.
And I will say.
Yeah.
Go on.
I was say like with Jason.
Ooh.
I was like, yeah, no, you go. My one's, I can say.
I said, okay, so Freddy's got supernatural powers and he's terrorizing kids that don't have it. It's having the Dream Warriors that do can't. But anyways, essentially, you can turn it on the dreams on him if you let go of your fear. If you're Hal Jordan, for example, right, and he brings you in there, Hal Jordan be like, nah, boy, nothing about fear here.
Yeah,
right.
I believe in fear. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But with Jason as well, he's had to fight supernatural entities. He's had to fight Freddy first of all, but then he had to fight Carrie, essentially, but not Carrie. in number seven.
For legal reasons.
Michael Myers is fighting humans.
Yeah.
And he still can't do the job.
Well, yeah. Well, no, like Michael Myers is like his weakness is women, because like a man's never killed him. It's a woman that's killed him, so it's like.
Well, technically, okay. How do you define kill? Because when Paul Rudd injected him and then beaten up with an iron bar, he still survived that, by the way. So, but he lay down and then he sat up. So I don't know if you want to count that as a revive as a kill, or
I don't count it because that continuity doesn't exist.
Okay, it's true.
Like, all that's you're telling me mainline.
Yeah,
it's always been a woman who's killed him. It's like the Dark. Is it the Dark Rider in Lord of the Rings where like no man can kill this person, blah blah, and then the woman shouts, goes, "No, it says nothing about woman." Stab, and he dies. I'm like,
I'll say this. Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Original Halloween 2, 1981, right?
Yeah.
Laurie Strode shot him in both eyes somehow, right?
Yeah.
From cowering in the corner, by the way.
Yeah.
And Dr. Loomis turned the gas tank.
Yeah.
And he put the explode and he blew them both up, right?
Yeah.
But we don't count that as a kill because in Halloween 4, it's just like he's got a little bit of scarring in the face and Michael Myers is still alive. So the Close Cat basically retconned it.
Yeah. It's like,
even though Michael staggered out of the flames, right?
Yeah.
And then he flopped out and he's burning, right? No, he survived somehow, right?
Yeah. But maybe he's immune to fire, because even like in Halloween 2018 where they lock him in the basement and blow him up, and then literally the first moments of Halloween Kills, he just gets out like starts like murdering the whole.
yeah, and that was a nice sequence, by the way.
Yeah, that was
right.
Yeah.
But I don't think they did the same at the very end where they find all the townspeople, because they started making a mockery of him, and he should have been fighting back from the beginning rather than tanking all them and then be like, because he's not Jason. I'm saying Jason, yes, I can accept it, right?
Yeah.
Michael is just like, yeah, I don't know. Are they going to see like, unless they bring the Undertaker's urn to him, yeah? Paul Bearer's bringing the Undertaker's urn to Michael Myers, and then he rises up from the ground and it was all super repowered. Yeah, okay, fine.
See,
unless he's going to say he's absorbing the evil from the people that turned on him.
Yeah, that's why
I don't know.
That's how I took it, because especially when that's happening, you hear the person saying about, he's pure evil, blah, blah, he's making our hatred and this. I was like, oh, that's why I like praised that. Like, oh, that makes sense. Then we just come up and like murdered everyone there. And I was like, oh, but then like I've said like 4 times already. Like then in Halloween End, it's just like, oh yeah, he murdered loads of people and just disappeared for 4 years. So
well, we will argue, as we're going to try and make sense of this, is because he murdered all the people that had hate in their heart.
Yeah,
he had no hate to power him, and that's why he did that.
Yeah. But then, like, in a way, it wouldn't, because the town was still upset and hurt from what he did. So, like, that should make him, like, uber-level boss where he can, like, float across the city doing lightning bolts at people. Because, like, that's how strong he would be. Can't make any, like...
Yes. 100%. I mean, you'll say, are we saying Undertaker and Kane? Are their gimmicks more influenced from Michael or Jason?
I'll say both.
Yeah.
Because they both kind of take from both of them, really, isn't it?
Would you say Undertaker's more of the Michael Myers influence and Kane is more of the Jason?
Jason, yeah.
I think that kind of makes sense. I think it's the setup, isn't it? When Michael's sat in the first Halloween, where he takes a coat hanger to the eye.
Yeah.
And then he gets beaten up a little bit, and then he goes down. I think, does she shank him? Yeah, and then he sits up afterwards, and then and then the Undertaker does the old sit up now.
Boom, yeah. Dong. Yeah,
exactly.
They have had like positive like cultural influences and stuff in the future. So yeah.
Okay. If you were in one of these 3 guys' movie, right?
Yeah.
Which movie would you be in? And I guess you're trying to survive as well, right? Not say, which movie would you in because you think it'd be the most entertaining, right? Which movie of the 3 would you be in and you think you can survive? And obviously there's got to be an end to the movie, because it can't be like, he's got to chase me for 40 years and stuff like that. There's got to be some sort of...
I reckon I probably could survive the longest in... Actually, I don't know. I was going to say Nightmare on Elm Street, like the dreams, but no, I don't know.
I think...
be quite hard.
Yeah, that one seeing all the monsters you drink, you might end up staying alive through that.
But then, what's that film? Oh, it's not too. There's one. There's a film that came out in the, like late 90s, early 2000s, where something to do with dreams, and the guy, because he wouldn't sleep because the thing would have got him. He ended up working in Las Vegas. I can't remember what it's called. Oh, my brother was telling me about it, and I never got to saw it. But anyway, I'll probably do that. Go work somewhere where it's always loud.
Oh, what film is this? It sounds intriguing.
I can't remember what it's called. It's not Cherry.
Was it a horror film?
Yeah, it's a horror film. When I remember, I'll bring it up. I can't remember.
Thing like that?
It's not. Is it Cherry Fall? I don't know. It's out of my head. It's not Tooth Fairy. Is it Tooth Fairy? I don't remember. It's gonna annoy me. Oh.
Son's Tooth Fairy. And the other one is the Tooth Fairy from a Van Damme film, and I can't remember which Van Damme film it was. He had to go to jail though. In Hell, maybe? No, From Hell? I can't remember. What was it was in the 90s.
No, I think it was early 2000s, or early to mid 2000s. Oh wait, it will come back to me at some point, but I'll let you know because then we can probably watch it. But
yeah. And to be fair, I know we're talking about. Do you think these guys? You're saying they've got enough cultural impact and they get the recognition they kind of deserve? I will say actually, some of their reputations outlast the quality of their films because I think it's just like because they spammed the amount of films and you're like, yeah, if we didn't get all those number of films, you could have probably had a better quality film and we remember these characters more fondly. At the same time, because you're like, all right, keep on going. It's they're always in your face. It's like, yep. They did, right? And I wouldn't say all of the films are great, but they're just so in your face that we remember them.
Yes, I think that's mainly Freddy because I think Freddy has more of a pop culture reference nowadays than the other two because of the whole jokes bit, and then they kind of reference them in like Rick and Morty. So I think that's why he kind of has more of a lasting presence than the other two. Because the other two, I'm pretty sure lots of people get the two mixed up.
That's true. It's true.
There's so much similarities between them. Like,
yeah.
A white mask. Yeah. I mean, it's just that sort of like, oh, okay. Like,
yeah. I mean, you're a hater through and through. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I'm a hater through and through. You know.
All right. Okay. You know what? Maybe another time we'll speak about some other horror icons that you actually do like. Because
who are the ones I do like?
Stuff. And these three, well, two of these guys are basically kind of the same.
Yeah.
So that like there's not too much we can say that distinguishes, for example, why you like one and why the other, right?
Yeah.
Other than the films and the quality of films.
Yeah.
And Freddy's the only one that sticks out because he looks different and he's got personality.
Yes, only difference.
Like, he talks smack, you know.
Yeah.
Which we could argue. So does the Leprechaun. I have not actually seen any of the Leprechauns, right?
But that's another one that starts off like, oh, this is cool, and then like, okay, that's where
we. Are you recommended, by the way? I should watch the Leprechauns. Because I am intrigued. I was going to watch them anyways. I'm not sure about the one with Hornswoggle, and I have seen the one with Hornswoggle. Number 6 is that? But I said to a reboot.
Yeah, because that's like one of the newest ones. Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
Oh, like the first two are okay, then just get stupid.
Well, but stupid and think stupid, or just dumb stupid?
Dumb stupid.
And this is the one with what's her name? What's her name from Friends? Jen. Yeah.
That's the good one. Then it starts getting okay, and then it's just like, oh, okay, we're going to the hood now. That's not weird.
Is that and in space? Aren't they entertaining? You know what? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna watch them anyways, right? I want to watch them anyways. I'm gonna do another set of horror icons at some point, and I could say, I could speak with you about this on your level.
I don't know why I watched them. To be fair, I was like, why am I?
I'm watching them for the fun of it because I know these things aren't. But like that.
Like it's one of those things. It starts off as fun, but in the end, you're like, how did you get made? And there's so many other films that sounded really good didn't get made.
Yeah. And there's quite a lot of one-off horror films that just never got a franchise. The thing is though, if you can pump out a cheap film,
they're gonna
quickly.
Yeah.
You'll force yourself into being a franchise.
Yeah.
Sadly. Yeah. So no, but I'm just saying that's what happens sometimes. It's just it's not because they're good or have lastability or something. It's just like force fed you the franchise and then into popular culture.
Yeah. It's like tricking you. Like, oh yeah, this was this. Oh, we all like this. Like, oh yeah, we do. And you're right. Wait, do we?
exactly.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh, you got me, you scoundrels. All right. Okay. Fine. Yeah. All right. You know what? I'm actually kind of looking forward to watching the Leprechauns. To be fair,
you might enjoy the first couple. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So we'll conclude this episode of Triple Rounds Multiverse. Carl's still hating on my boy all the way from like you hate him into the grave and he still comes back. That's why I say you could never be in his film because he'll come after you first.
Dude, when it comes to this, I'll probably have a straight up hater. I'll admit.
Yeah. But are you looking forward to speaking about some other horror franchise characters as well later on?
Like, depending who it is. Actually, no, I'm interested to talk about.
Well, I have a list, right?
Okay.
But it might be we split the list in two because there's quite a lot of individual characters, and I try to get characters that I see a lasting legacy, but more than just one off in a film, even more than 2 films. And I try at least more than 3 films because I wouldn't say, for example, something's a horror icon if they have, even though I like The Thing, right?
Yeah.
Technically, you've only got 2 films. I know they've got the thing from another world that's separate continuity, and I wouldn't really count it as a horror icon because it's only been in 2 things, even though it's long lasting.
Yeah. Technically the same thing, but yeah,
exactly. So I just try to get the ones that have a bit more meat on their bones. Even though I will say something like Leatherface is like, even though they make a continuous amount of those as well.
Yeah.
Whatever, right? Yeah. But yeah, we'll speak about those later. But you never got when you go to sleep, you've had nightmares about it. But none of the films starring these Michael Myers, Freddy, or Jason have that effect on you.
Only, I said before, only like as a kid, Freddy. Again, because it could be real. Because obviously you could dream that up as it's a nightmare thing. But the others, nah. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't watched. I've never gone to sleep after watching any of these films and go, I hope it doesn't get me in the middle of the night. I'm like,
yeah. It's like, nah.
Yeah. I don't know why I was made the myth and the legend of these characters bigger in my head than they were. But I guess if you're watching them when you're under the age of rating of the films that you're supposed to be watching them in,
then you're gonna think like that in a way,
yeah.
But none of them except for Freddy. Maybe.
Cool. All right. In that case, we will bring this episode to a conclusion. Yeah. I'm the man who's got tied up with rights issues, so I can't resurrect myself from the grave this time around. See why, Chong?
And I am the man who has. Wait. I had one as well. Wait, it has nothing to do with Michael. I am the man who may have tried to kill his sister or may not because continuity is a thing. Carl, Charles.
You also tried to kill your son and your her son and your niece, but kind of not because it depends.
It depends. In one timeline, I have a nephew. But another timeline, I have a niece. Who knows? In one timeline,
2 timelines.
My sister. She's just a woman that I have some weird fascination with. Yeah. Carl. And thank you all for listening to us talk about the 3 pinnacles of horror. Would you say they're the pillars? Yeah, the 3 pillars of
I will say
80s horror. I'll say 80s horror. Yeah.
Yes, well, definitely about 80s, 90s, 2000s ish.
Yeah.
After that, I mean, it gets
It's muddy. Yeah. It's too muddy. Yes, Freddy Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, and the one and only Michael Myers. Not Mike Myers, the comedian. Not Austin Powers. And yes, let us know who you think is the best out of these three. Is it Jason? No. Is it Freddy? Maybe. Michael? Most definitely. You can let us know by then leaving a comment in the comment section down below if you're watching this on the YouTube. Or if you're listening in the audio realms, you can leave a comment in the podcasting bit. I think like most podcasting platforms have, maybe you can leave comments and questions or whatever. And also you can let us know on Instagram and Twitter, and you can find all our social media handles above. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's at the top of the screen. If not, if you're listening to an audio realm, it should be in the description box, anywhere you can find our Instagram and Twitter, our email address as well. And until next time, guys, I'd like to thank you all for taking a trip with us around the confusing rights fueled multiverse. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.